Oh, am I live? Can people hear me? Let's see. I don't think. Okay, the audio is running. And it says I'm live. Hello! It's me, Mizunori Kokona, and we're here today to play some Kick Flight. I really like this game, and I haven't played in a while, but apparently it's shutting down. So I kind of rushed out my streaming plans. And so right now I am just a shrimp PNG, still working on my rigging. But we're going to play some Kick Flight and we're going to get some experience streaming. So I hope you like my overlays. They're very scuffed. But graphic design is my passion. And so I picked some of the most disturbing shrimp I could find and threw them on there. This video is unavailable. Huh. Does it say I'm live? I'm getting an error. Huh. Pause chat. Okay, I'm live. Okay, cool. I don't know why. It says there's an error on my end, but it could be because I'm trying to view it. I don't really know how this works. This is going to be a little scuffed. But we'll see. Okay. The shrimp with heels. Yeah, I think, can I pull this up bigger? Can you see that bigger now? I don't know why this is a thing. It's so creepy. But I went and I pulled up a shrimp for arm day and a shrimp for leg day. They're perfect together, so they both had to go on there. There's some really weird shrimp clip art out there. It's very weird. I don't understand why there's so much weird clip art out there. But I found some weird ones and threw them on there. This is not what my overlays are gonna look like, though. I have some better overlays. Green ship with the I was really okay. I was actually ready to put my own fake, like, transparent background on there, and I was really glad that it came like that because I wanted this to look really scuffed. I picked the worst fonts and I picked the worst images. Do you want to see the actual overlay? Because it's significantly better. Let's see if I can figure out how to transition these. I have a whole bunch of overlays here now. Chaotic neutral overlay. Okay, I think I just transitioned it. Do people see that? This is a much better overlay. I'm excited to do the graphic design for this kind of stuff because I am a graphic design shrimp. I am here on the surface for art. That is what I'm doing here. Thank you. I really wanted to have some sort of gradient in there. But I wanted it to be like, I initially started with like just plain gradients, but it felt really boring. So I ended up going with like the stripe idea, and I feel like it looks really cool. And actually, I don't know if I can move this. Yeah, I really like this like edge on here where I have like the bright yellow. I really like that color, chartreuse. Very bright chartreuse. But it turned out really good. I like where it's going so far. Yeah, the yellow's gonna be probably like my highlight color for a lot of stuff. So I'm using it sparingly, but on things that need a little punch. And then I also have, I'm still working on a logo. I have this, it's behind me right now. But that's what I have at the moment. I will probably change it, but we'll see. I've gone through a couple different iterations of it, and this is what I've settled on so far. But so far it's looking good. I've also tried having some hiragana in there, just for the Japanese pronunciations. It looks cool. And since I'm trying to pick up Japanese, I find it cool to be able to read it. But it looked a little busy with the last iteration I had, so I left it out for now. I feel like it looks really clean the way it is right now. Okay. Let's see if we can check the audio. Yeah, Japanese it takes a lot of, I mean, languages in general, you just need to like really work at them. It takes a while to really get good at it. Like, I'm not expecting to be fluent in it ever, but like I'm not expecting to even be good at speaking it for at least a couple of years. Because right now I've only been studying for a couple months. I think I did like the most of my serious studying coming off of winter, so it's only been a handful of months. And I have learned a fair amount, but it's only like the hiragana, the katakana, those two alphabets. And then I'm basically just stockpiling kanji right now. So I'm just trying to learn as much kanji as I can before I even, like, before I learn vocabulary and stuff. And, like, how you string sentences together. So I know, like, a little bit, but I really can't speak anything. I can't make sentences. And I'm not really expecting to for a while. Yeah, Z Foxy, the cursed shrimps are on my other overlay. If you missed that, this is what I started with. If it will transition, there we go. Graphic design is my passion. I have some of the most cursed shrimps I could find on Google Photos. And then I picked some really dumb fonts. Because obviously Papyrus and Comic Sans are really bad. And then there's Bangers for the Coconut channel. Bangers is a silly font. I kind of thought that at first, and I was really confused when I saw it from afar. It's actually just the tail. But yeah, I can understand why that looks like that. That was my initial thought too. I don't know why there are so many cursed shrimps. I'm sorry. I'll make them tinier. I don't know why there are so many cursed clip arts in general, though. Clip art is just really weird. And there's so many. Like, you can get so much. You can find so many different clip arts in different styles. Use shrimps and make them emotes. Honestly, I should make some really dumb emotes like that. Maybe. I also want to draw my own emotes. Since I can do that, I'll definitely probably be doing that. I'm just going to need to figure out what I'm actually going to use. Or like what kind of ideas I'm going to go for. Since kind of new to this, so I'm not really sure what the jokes are going to be here yet. But we'll see. Does everyone see the new out overlay instead of the cursed one? Just checking, because I didn't transition it the same way. Okay, cool. Okay, so if you want, we can start. Thank you. Yeah, I spent a while on this. I'm really proud of how it turned out, though. And I really like the color scheme. It definitely matches me a lot with my eyes and my hair. We can also transition to mobile. Here's the other overlay for mobile gaming, because we're going to play some Kickflight today. So let me know when the audio sounds good. I'm going to raise it a little bit. Tell me if it's too low or too high. Thank you. Yeah, I really like the border. I like how clean everything looks and how the colors kind of blend into the bottom. Low? Okay. It's really weird. I can hear the audio, but I can't change the audio level for myself. I can only change it for you guys. Higher? Okay. And how's my audio sound? I've been trying to figure out how to monitor it more. Okay. Paste this. Okay. I think that seems pretty good. Okay. So, this is Kickflight. I really like Kickflight. Kickflight is really cool. I would describe it, I've been describing it as like an anime flight sim, because I feel like there's no good way to describe it. Here's the deal though. It's ending in a month. They're shutting it down. That's why I rushed into this, because I really wanted to be able to... No, it's kind of like flying around. It's hard to describe. There's no kicking at all. But yeah, it ends on the 22nd, I believe, of next month. Which is, I'm really disappointed in that. I wanted to play this a fair amount on stream, I guess. I wanted to play it a couple times on stream at least. And so I kind of expedited my streaming. I was gonna wait until I was done rigging. But I want experience, and I want to play this game. So, we're streaming a little early with my shrimp PNG. But the way I would describe Kickflight visually is very much, I guess not just in general, is kind of like Splatoon and ARMS, if you've heard of both of those from Nintendo. ARMS is a little bit more niche, but Splatoon is pretty big. I like both of them. Why are they killing it again? Killing what? Oh, the game? The reason that they're canceling it is basically because there's not like a huge player base. There was kind of never really a huge player base. Even when I initially played back in... I played in the summer, which was only a couple months after they initially released globally. but it's mostly most players are from Japan, and so a lot of people who like actually play it, they use VPNs to play against Japan, play in like Japan servers, because the vast majority of the player base is there. There's not a lot of people from global servers that are even on, so a lot of times you end up against bots, which apparently that and just having very few people even playing is not really helping it. So they decided to shut it down, sadly. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I've never tried it, and I don't plan to be trying it right now. But I can't imagine it's fun. Or like, I can't imagine it works as well as without a VPN. But really, if you're only against bots, you're not really like, I don't know, like you're not really playing against people. So there's definitely like a different level of play there. But yeah, so I would describe it as like some sort of mix between ARMS and Splatoon. Visually, it's very much like ARMS. Like all of the yellow, the fact that it's like all yellow overlays and stuff reminds me a ton of ARMS. The ARMS UI is like one of my favorite things about ARMS. It's really good. I really love ARMS in general. I'm just a huge fan of ARMS. But then the gameplay is actually a lot like Splatoon, where it's like 4 versus 4 players. So you get grouped up with 3 people, and then you fight 4 other people. And you're basically like flying around collecting gems, and you have to drop them in a reservoir that'll hold them basically. And then as you go around, you can fight other people, but you don't necessarily have to. So it does kind of have that element of Splatoon where you can fight people, but you really don't need to be fighting people to be helping out your team. Which I appreciate, because sometimes I'm just not good at fighting people. But it's even got like a little bit of Pokemon in there, to be quite honest. Because they've got these things. You've got like these power-ups. And like, half of them are animals. And like weird Pokemon-like things. And then the other half are just like machines. It's a very weird combination of like upgrades. Wait, is Uber Beaver his name? I literally didn't even know. I don't even know half of these. Like, you get so many because you have to like power them up by getting multiple copies. So like all of these with the green arrow, I can click them and level them up because I've gotten extra ones. So like, I got 2 extra ones of this guy so I can upgrade him. But I just have so many because you pick up so many in the gacha system. Speaking of, I can pull some random stuff. Every 4 hours you get 5 free pulls from like a basic thing. So here's those 5. Hello, Woni! Welcome! Yeah, I think I have all of these. It didn't take long before I basically had everything. And then you kind of have to go for like the fancier pulls, like any gacha system, really. It's not great. I haven't used it a ton because I actually didn't play a ton. I played for like maybe a couple weeks and got really into it. And then kind of had to deal with school stuff. But for a while it was really nice. I really appreciate the 3D like flight part. That's absolutely my favorite part about it, is just being able to move in that 3D space. Because I really don't get a chance to do that a lot anymore. It reminds me a lot of home underwater because you can kind of like go, you're not like limited to walking on the ground. So I appreciate getting the chance to move around like that again. What else are we gonna do? I can also pull some characters because you pull the characters too. I have like a fair amount of tickets because I wasn't using them. But we can pull one right now and see what we get. It's the furry. There's a furry character. I don't know why. I was hoping we'd get him. I do like the way they drop the characters though, because you get to... You have this regular scout at the top, where you can basically just pull the regular characters, and it cuts down on the pool every time you pull one. So basically all the characters I don't have, like right here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So the next time I pull, it'll be between those 4, which I appreciate. And then all of the skins are basically extra tickets. So those are more random and you can get duplicates, maybe? Not 100% sure because I never did it. But it basically helps you get all the characters first, which I really like. So, we can do an actual fight if you guys want to see. I'm just gonna play with this guy since he's the basic protagonist. He has like the most basic gameplay, I believe. I haven't played in a while, so I need to get back into this too. So I might not be great on this first try. And I'm gonna switch the overlay. I think we're Team Red. Team Red. I was really excited for working on the overlays here. I ended up making like 5 or 6 different overlays to switch between over the course of the whole stream. Oh no, I'm already crashing. So basically the idea is that you're flying around collecting these gems, and then you want to drop them in this reservoir area that will basically hold them in case you die. If I go over here, I can drop them in. And both count to the totals. So if people are holding on to them, it still counts towards your team's total. But if you get killed, then they go back to the field. So you do want to drop them in when you get the chance so you don't die with a whole bunch. And that's basically the main gameplay loop. Because you're just running around doing that. I think they have a few other gameplay types too. It's kind of like Splatoon, where it's like similar kind of mechanics. Whoops. It's like similar mechanics, but there's different types of fights. Like there's capture the flag, I think, and stuff like that. I think there's like maybe 2 more. And then you also have skills down here. So I have on the bottom left all my skills. I'm not even sure what this one does. I need to like read up on the characters again, because I never really played Tsubomi. I think that's this guy. You basically tap characters on the side when you get close, and then you can auto-aim. And then you can also flick up the discs at the bottom to attack them. I just killed him. And then I think some of the discs Heal you? Yeah. That one I have for healing and moving. It's good on a different character sets, that's why I have it. And we've got 30 seconds left, but we're in the lead. I'm not even sure what I'm doing. I just like flying around, to be completely honest. 9 seconds and I'll just try to drop these in. What am I doing? Okay. So that's basically how it goes. And we won. I think we were up against... Yeah, I think we were up against, like, all bots. Maybe? Maybe one of them isn't a bot? But most of the bots are just, like, regular people's names. So it's relatively easy to tell when you're up against bots. Tsubame, not Tsubomi. And so I just got one of the capsule things. They basically, like, you have time before you're allowed to unlock them. Oh yeah, Doug and Josh, definitely. The more mundane sounding the name, the more likely they're bots. So yeah, you get 3 slots to hold these, and you have to wait to open them, unless you spend money. Which is dumb. I'm not really worrying about it, because it's ending soon, and it's not like you really get too many good things from them. But basically what you want to do, if it was like open long term, is you play like 3 rounds, you get 3 wins, and then you wait for a while before you can open those up. Honestly, yeah, you could just name yourself a really boring name, and everyone would think you're a bot. Play like a bot, and then midway through, just go all out. We can look at some of the characters too. They have interesting characters. Some of them are more interesting than others. Like, this guy is... I feel like he's very different from the rest of the cast. I think he's like a thief, maybe? I don't even know. They all have backstories of some sort. There, he has a bazooka. Sure. I've personally mostly played as Hitagi, because I really like Hitagi. She's really cute, and she was pretty new when I actually started playing. They actually added a new character a couple months ago too. I don't have him, but I heard he's like very broken. Oh wait, I should switch back to the non-battle scheme. I have like so many different overlays for this. This one's the kickplate one. Okay. Yeah, you can see most of what's going on with that. And then we've got a big chat box. But yeah, Hitagi is like... Yeah, her skill just teleports behind someone and then you can instantly kill them. Like, it feels so broken. I feel bad playing her sometimes because, like, you just turn on your insta-kill button, which is literally a skill you have, and then you can teleport behind someone and kill them. It's wild. But the disc set I had loaded right now is mostly for Hitagi play, because I've got some teleports, and it's very weird. There's like different systems in the game that they literally do not tell you about. Like, there's one where different characters can handle different disc skills better. So I believe Hitagi handles like warping and attacking discs the best. So she just gets buffs when she uses those, and it's slower to use all other types of discs. So basically you want to kind of prioritize those kind of discs if you're playing that character, but you don't need to. So it's kind of like a more high-level play thing, where like if you're playing competitively, you know to do that, and if you're not, oh no, what am I doing? I'm gonna teleport out of here. That didn't get me far. Okay. But yeah, so like if you're playing competitively, you kind of build sets around what the character's strengths are. And so what I was using was a lot of warp and attack discs. And the other really interesting mechanic they have is it's like an elemental system. Basically, like, if you see on my character there's a little red triangle, that basically means I'm like fire type right now. And then if I swap a disc, it'll change my attribute. So you basically go against characters that have an attribute that's weak to you, and you can switch, like, in the middle of fighting to a different attribute. I'm dead. Whoops. You die pretty quick. Yeah, and if you want to heal, you really need to like build around healing, because there's not really many options outside of that to get your health back up, besides just like taking a hit and suiciding. Because sometimes that's just the better option if you don't have crystals on you. I should use my skill. That's the teleport behind you and insta-kill. It does like 9,999 damage or something. It's just absolute overkill, so you immediately kill them. It feels very broken, but it doesn't happen often enough that you get upset with it too much, I guess. I feel like it's only happened to me a handful of times. Yeah, that's literally how she goes. She just teleports behind you. I really love her design, though. The whole, like, Oni thing with the flaming sword, I just really love that. Let's switch back to the non-battle. Got another one of these that I won't be opening. Now if you want, we can pick a random character and try to play as them. Or if you guys want to suggest one of these characters. We've got Hitagi, the Oni Japanese schoolgirl, I guess. We've got Buzzy Big, who's a rapper. He's like defensive, I think. Dytrius, he's an alien apparently. The characters are just all out there with their backgrounds. Yugioh. Yugioh was the first one I learned to play, actually. Because the first pull I got was her. And I preferred playing a girl over a guy. So I was playing Yugioh for a while. She has, like, this panda cart thing. Yeah, I think she's probably a loli. But she has, like, bamboo nunchucks and this panda like cart thing that flies around and makes her really fast. It's weird. I never completely got used to it, honestly. Anna's really cool. I wanted her for a while. She's very fast. I think she's one of the fastest characters in the game. And that's kind of like her big thing, is that she's just real speed. I don't even know how to pronounce this, but Pedophy? I don't know. I've obviously never played him because I just pulled him. Albert does like stuff with drones, I think. So he's really good with like traps and stuff. Kite's a ninja. You gotta have a ninja. He gives me Ninjara vibes from ARMS. Coco just has big hammer. That's her thing, big hammer. She's cute though. I love her huge boots. I'm really here for huge boots. It's just such a cute aesthetic. And Tsubame is just go fast, swing sword. He's like the main protagonist anime dude. And honestly, I might as well just go and pull the last 4 characters. If I can find that. Yeah, they call them kickers. It's Kick Flight, and that's like the name of the characters, but I think Z-Foxy, you mentioned that earlier about it being soccer. I really don't know where the kicking comes in. There is no kicking going on. No one kicks. I think it just sounds cool. Yeah, I have 5 pulls and only 4 characters, so I can get them all. Okay, so this is the new guy. He's the newest character, and I've heard he's pretty broken. I don't know what he does at all. Though I do love his color scheme. I'm here for green and red, if you can't tell. I think he's some sort of graffiti artist. Battle mode scheme is a weird zoom on the left side. Huh, should I change it? Is that one better? Yeah, a new character being broken tends to be the way things go. Especially if you're not, like, playtesting enough. And, like, I doubt they spent too long working on it. Because I think they were probably thinking about shutting it down before they even released them. They only added 2 new characters. Hitagi was the first, like, DLC, I guess. Like, they added her outside of the main cast. And then Sid's the second. And then I think they announced they were closing down pretty soon after. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with it too much. This is Roriha? I don't know what she does. I know she has guns. And I think that's like her thing. Yeah, I'd hate to be someone who invested money on a game like this just to have it shut down like less than a year after it was released. I don't know how long it was open globally, but it really wasn't open long before they, I guess, decided it was gonna get shut down. I feel like a lot of games like that. I feel like a lot of games go like that if there's not like a huge base. It's kind of like the first or second year, and then if there's not enough people, they just kind of have to cut ties if it's not doing well. Oh, this guy is like, he reminds me of that one character from Overwatch. It's not COVID, it's just speaking for a while. I'm not used to this. Yeah, I feel like with stuff like TF2, they have such a big player base nowadays that, like, they won't die. Like, no matter what, they have a huge fan base that even if the developers shut it down, the fans are gonna keep it going somehow. And so they really have no reason to shut down as long as they're making money off of it. But there's so many mobile games out nowadays, like especially stuff like this, where like it becomes like a flash in the pan kind of thing, where people will stop in early on and then they just won't play consistently, or won't pay, and then the company can't really keep up with it, I guess. I think we have one more character. I'm not sure who that is. Ah, this guy. He's like... I don't know what he's like. He's got this weird stuffed animal on him. And the spiked bat, obviously. Yeah, he is very pink. I like the idea of, like, a rough punk guy in pink. That's really cool. I don't know if I can turn him around. He's got this, like, stuffed animal on him that I think is creepy. Okay, it's not as creepy as I was expecting. But it's a little weird. Honestly, his color scheme kind of reminds me of, like, Diva from Overwatch 2. I've just referenced Overwatch twice. I've played Overwatch, like, once. I don't play Overwatch. Just to let you guys know. Yeah, Genshin Impact is a big one. The waifus. Yeah, waifus sell. That's how it works. As long as they keep putting out waifus and people keep paying for them, they're gonna do fine. And the fact that it's, like, kind of open world, I feel like helps it a lot. Like, it's very much like Breath of the Wild, and I feel like that got a lot of people interested in it early on. Like, I remember following it, like, at least a year before it came out, because it just looked really cool to have, like, another game like Breath of the Wild. Because I feel like there's not, like, a ton of games out there that are stylized like that and, like, give you so much freedom. And then it's anime characters, so how can you go wrong with anime characters? Yeah, the husbandos too. They have like a lot of effeminate characters too, where like even if it's not like, even if they're a guy, they look so pretty. Like, how can you not like them? All the characters just look really great. I love the character design in that. So if you want, you guys can suggest a random character and I can try to play them. Because I don't really have experience with most of these characters. And I've obviously pulled 5 of them on stream, so I've never played those. Pink guy, sure. Let's see what he even does. He's very fast, and he hits hard, so he's a glass cannon, I guess. Well, no. That would just be really powerful. And really weak. I don't know. I guess that's like a glass cannon. I'm only used to that stuff from Pokemon, so... I think that's how you might classify him. Yeah, he's a wait, no. Graffiti. Is he a graffiti artist? Who's the graffiti artist? Are there two? Disguises battle and map information to the opposing team. Well, that doesn't help if they're bots, but whatever. Stealth paint. He's gotta be the graffiti artist. Disappear from the mini-mapping field. Present for you on death. Set a massive damage bomb trap. I'm surprised that he doesn't handle traps well. He handles warp and buff the best. I guess I'll just jump into it with the... What is it? I think they're called discs. I'll just jump into it with what I have and see what I can do with him. Thom? What kind of name is Thom? I actually have a friend and his nickname is Thom. We don't call him that often, but it's so funny. Oh, that looked like someone with an actual name. Let's go. Here's another map. There's only like 3 maps in this game. They really haven't added a whole lot. There's like a lot of like weird like tube slides. It's very twisty and tunnely. Oh, that hurt. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm like basically dead. I need to go back and drop these off. Before I die. Oh, but another thing about this game that reminds me a lot of Splatoon, they actually had flight fests. I think that's what you call them. I played one during the summer, and it's basically just the Splatfest, but for Kickflight. It's very interesting how they just kind of like copied like Splatoon mechanics and ARMS UI. And I was just really here for that. I'm dying. It's hard to pay attention to the game and talk. But yeah, I played the Flight Fest, and another thing they do that's just ripped straight from Splatoon is all the maps are actually in the middle of the night. So it's not like... It's like it's the same map, but like right now it's during the day. And basically only during the Flight Fests they change the skybox to make it look like it's night. And like, if that wasn't blatant enough of a take from Splatfests, that like literal minor detail, then I don't know what is. Oh, and the other thing that they ripped from ARMS is the badge system. You can like collect badges that look exactly like the ARMS badges. I'm kind of sad that I don't have a lot. I only have like 6 or 7. But apparently there's like well over 200 badges that I just don't know how to get, and will never get before this game shuts down. Meanwhile in ARMS I feel like I have most of them. I think there's only a handful I'm missing. If you can't tell, I've spent a long time in ARMS. I've been playing ARMS since the initial release. I haven't been playing too much lately, but I got really into it. I did enter into a tournament, actually. And even though I lost in the first round, I was in a tournament. I can say that. We lost. I feel like I'm not even paying attention to the game. Where's the badges, though? There's a badge. Born Kicker. I really wanted the badge from the Flight Fest. The theme was like ocean versus something. Mountain, I think? I think it was like vacation ideas. Like going to the beach or going to the mountains. And so I was obviously Team Ocean as a shrimp mermaid. And I really wanted the badge because it looked cute. And I played the flight fast, and I thought I did enough to get the badge, and I didn't. I was very sad by that, and then I kind of stopped playing for a while. You also have like emotes you can use here. I don't have any of... I'm assuming this must be the paid currency. Kick points. You can basically buy these emotes and use them and show off to all the bots you fight against. Unless you're in Japanese servers and you're actually fighting real people. Who else is there? I want to try the furry and see how their gun is. Because he looks so small. I feel like he would... I don't know, I almost feel like he might control... like, feel different to control since he's so small, because half of his body is just his gun. Yeah, I hope the bots are very impressed by my badges and my emotes that they will never see. It's actually such a grind to get to this point too, because I am currently S rank, but you have to play from like D rank all the way up to S rank before you can even play people on that level. So basically everyone new to the game is playing against bots, since there's not enough people to play people against your rank. So if you even want the chance to fight against real people, you have to get all the way up to S rank. And then hope one or two of the characters aren't bots. It's a very sad state of affairs if you're on the global servers. And that's why they're shutting down, I guess. Yeah, it really doesn't seem good for retention. I feel bad for them because it's like, it's such a cool game. The aesthetic is there, and the gameplay mechanics of just like flying around and stuff. I feel like a lot of games don't have that. Like, I kept comparing it to flight sims because I feel like there's not much else that describes that kind of gameplay. Like, what other game are you just flying around? Ooh, we have a real person. Gotcha, girl. Wild. And then there's Ted. Thumbs back. Oh my. You always know when they file in at the end that they're bots. But at least we have Gotcha Girl. But yeah, I feel really bad because the whole game is like such a cool idea. And they really could have expanded on it and like done more events and tried to get people excited about it. But they just really didn't have enough of a player base to do anything in the first place. Like, you can host events, but if you don't have people to play them, then you're not really doing much. You're not really gonna get those people that aren't playing to continue playing. It's just sad. A lot of like the experimental stuff, I feel like, doesn't get like a huge fan base because it is experimental. And so you kind of have to hit like, you have to hit between marketable and experimental if you want something to be cool and new, and also get people to play it. It must be tough designing games like this. I need to get out of here. The other thing with that these they're called them guardians, but it's like the things that hold your crystals. If you get too close to the opponent's one, they will shoot a laser at you. And the laser kills you in like 2, maybe 3 shots, depending on how bulky you are. And so you really can't last long against them. And while you can fight the guardians, there's really like not much you can do. Because you do damage really slow to guardians, and they do damage to you in a couple seconds. So I think it's there to like if I go and target this, I can start attacking it. And it does deal some damage. But like what it does is release crystals, I think. So I think I released like maybe 3 crystals from its total health pool. And then those crystals go back onto the field. If I'm not mistaken. Not 100% sure. But I think that keeps people from like hogging the crystals too long. Because then if everyone on the opposing team is, I guess, like being really defensive, then you can go and fight their guardian, take back crystals. Let's see what my skill is. I don't even know what it is. I think that just like targets people on the field and shoots them. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, like, especially being a mobile game. Because, like, this is a free game. Wow, I still did the best on my team. Oh, because the rest of them were bots. Okay. And Gotcha Girl did the best on her team. That makes sense. Yeah, it's hard with gacha games, though. Because, like, so many of them are just free. And so it's really easy to get people to try, but it's really hard to get people to stay. I feel like I've tried so many gacha games and like, or not gacha games, just like mobile games in general. I guess a lot of them are gacha too. But basically, if you're going... Wait, what was I even gonna say? So like if it's free, and you get people to come and try it out, you really need a hook if you want to keep people playing, because if it gets gold quick, people are gonna leave. I feel like out of all the gacha games, or mobile games in general that I've played, I feel like I've only stuck with like maybe 3. There's a lot of cool ones out there, but like they don't really have the staying power as like big franchise things, because big franchises obviously have more money to work with and they can do more events and things. So small groups making niche games doesn't work as well. Especially when you're playing games like... How would you describe this? Like team-based. Where all of the gameplay is against other people and with other people. That game lives by the people playing it. And if no one's playing it, no one will play it. Okay, thanks for coming, Z-Foxy. Casually just catching up on the stream chat. Oh yeah, definitely. With the skills. I feel like you need to power them up too. To get them... Yeah, I talked about that early on, where you power them up. You really need to power them up to do the most damage you can. And it looks like the max level is 10. So you need to get like so many dupes before you can even get a character at the max level. And then you need like another currency too, because you need the duplicates and you need another currency before you can level up. It slows your growth significantly, I guess. And kind of forces you to start pulling the same things over and over again if you want to get a character to be good enough. Mostly what I've been doing is I've just been playing for like the effects, because they do have effects that aren't really related to what they actually do. Like, I really like this one, Bond's Gate. It warps you to a nearby ally and heals you, which I feel like is such an OP effect. You basically just like pop out of the situation if you're getting attacked, and then you heal yourself. I sound like Artemis, what? Excuse me? That's a huge compliment. Artemis is great. Honestly, I was a little worried about my voice. But I'm glad it comes through well. That was actually another reason I wanted to pick up streaming, because I want to get better at like talking a lot, and I want to make sure I'm good with my voice, because if you guys don't know, I'm trans, so I've been working on my voice for a while, but I never really feel like I'm there, I guess. It's very hard to feel like you're there, if that makes sense. And so I feel like just having more practice is always good. But I really haven't been talking a lot. With like the pandemic and everything, I'm not really going out and doing things. So I really don't get chances to talk to people a ton. Ah, Woney, thank you. When did I actually start? I think I started like a year ago. Because I know I came back at one point and decided like, okay, I'm just going to stick with this voice, and I know I'm not there yet, but I'm just going to exclusively use my girl voice and never use my guy voice again. And so far, so good. It's been like a year. Haven't used the old voice. I feel like it's honestly just like the practice of using it all the time is really helpful. Because then you're kind of just like in that mindset, I guess. It's not really a mindset, but like you get used to it over time to the point where you don't think about it. And then to the point where like I literally don't think I could have done my old voice at all. I really don't think I could. I think I've tried once or twice, but it doesn't work out. But I'm glad it sounds good, because sometimes I'm worried that like I just sound in between and that I don't sound like a good voice of either. It really is. Making things a habit in general is tough. You really have to work at it. That's what I've been trying to do lately with studying Japanese. I've been like trying to push myself to do some studying every day. Just to remember, like constantly keep it in my head. Because if I go a couple days without it, I feel like I'm just gonna stop, and I'm really worried about doing that. Oh, did you think it was low? I honestly didn't notice when I first watched it. But yeah, I'm really interested to go back and see this VOD and see how things turned out. Because I was trying to get the what is it, the voice monitoring to work, and I just had so much trouble trying to hear my audio and the game audio, and like trying to make sure everything sounded right. It was a tough time. And then sometimes when I got one thing working, then the other audio would just cut and I wouldn't be able to hear it. And it would tell me it was still playing, but I wouldn't be able to hear it. It's a weird situation trying to manage all this stuff. The other thing I had to do for this is... what is it? I'm actually streaming this from my mobile phone. I initially tried to play the game on... yeah, audio problems are such a pain. I've been worried about audio, because it's so hard to make sure you get it right. But yeah, I'm streaming this from my... I'm streaming from my computer, but I'm streaming my mobile phone to my computer, and then from my computer to you guys. So initially, I was just using like BlueStacks for emulating the game, but it wouldn't let me transfer my save data, and I was kind of upset with that, and it was really, really, really laggy. So I realized I needed to like share my screen from my mobile phone and have my phone run it. But I was initially using Bluetooth, and it was also incredibly laggy, and the music sounded so bad. So last night I actually spent like at least 4 hours downloading programs to get this to like hook up right. So now I have a wired connection between my phone and my computer, and it's... so far it seems like it's pretty much lag-free. I don't know how things are looking from you guys' end, and if the music is syncing up, but on my end it's way better than it was before. So I'm glad I got that working before the stream. Let's play as Yugioh. I haven't played as her in a while. I feel like I have a capsule set for her, but I don't even know. I honestly feel like I don't remember what half of these do. Maybe I'll try this one. Oh, cool. Glad it's syncing. Yeah, before it was like... it would like cut out for like a second, and then it would try to like speed up to catch up with it. So it was constantly like speeding up, slowing down, and stopping. Speeding up, slowing down. It was just so bad. And when I finally got it working with the audio and everything, I was so happy. It feels so good, like getting something that you can't get to work to finally work. Because I spent like 4 hours trying to get that going. And even when I got the screen sharing to work, the audio didn't come apart or come through because that wasn't part of the program. I had to download a completely separate program that would stream the audio separately. So now I have like one program for audio, one for the visuals, and I can actually handle them separately, which is pretty cool actually. Whoa. What kind of font is that? There's no way that's a bot. There's no way. How do you put in a font like that? Well, at least we have one real person. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. Because I've literally never seen any other font than the standard font. So I don't get how that's happening. I wonder if it's just like a different language. Like maybe those are characters from something else. Yeah, seriously, you have to be like pretty blatant to make sure people know you aren't a bot. Yep, and there's the rest. 6 of them are bots. I feel like most of the games I've played are basically just 1v1s with bots on each side. So like you're up against a team that has one real person, and so at least you have that. Oh, I've never played this map. This is brand new to me. Huh. I've only ever played like maybe 3 maps. But they must have added some during the updates. So I literally have no idea where I'm going. And I am blue team. I keep forgetting to switch that overlay. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff in here. I need to remember to keep looking at the mini-map. Here we go. I really just love how it feels to... Sorry. I really love just how it feels to maneuver the characters, though. I feel like it feels very intuitive. Once you get the hang of it, at least. It is tricky to pick up at first, but eventually, once you get used to it, you just kind of fly around. And I love that you can kind of like turn back really quickly. Like there's short keys for a couple different things. Like you can also roll dodge. I'm not really sure why you would roll dodge, because I don't think you really move very far. Yes, PvP casual got me. It's always the real players that end up killing you. Where the heck am I? See, that's the hard thing though. Once you get used to the maps, then you forget how being used to the map makes it feel intuitive. Because like I kind of know where I'm going with most of the other maps, but this one this is the first time I've played it, so I literally have no idea what's what. Let's use this while I can though. This basically just makes you go real fast and hit real hard. Cool. Yeah, I feel like that's very helpful. Because all you really need to do is like lock on to someone and then you just pummel them to death in your little panda car. I don't even know if we won or not. Oh, tie. Oh, someone dropped an emote. Does that mean they're real? I honestly don't know if they have like the bots using emotes just to like pretend like, oh, these are real people. They know how to use emotes, obviously. Because it probably wouldn't be too hard to program a bot to just use an emote based on if you won or lost. It already like gives you 3 options based on if you won or lost, so it wouldn't be weird if a bot just randomly picked one of those 3 and used it. Oh, I can open these. The sad thing about these is you get a whole 1 capsule disc, whatever. Like, you need so many to really duplicate stuff. And the fact that you have to sit on... You can only really sit on 3 of them before you need to wait it out. So it just really slows your progression and makes you want to buy stuff. They also have... This is like another, I guess, like high-level thing. They have these gears that like give you buffs. And I really don't know how to use them. I think the idea is that you like throw a gear on there and then it randomizes what your buff is. And then if you want to like swap it out, you have to re-roll for your buff. So like if you don't like your buff, you can add a new gear and it'll re-roll. But if you even somewhat like it, you might want to keep it because you might get a worse buff if you try to re-roll it. And I feel like that's just heavily designed to limit you from making your ideal set. But I think they're relatively small boosts to the point where it really doesn't matter. What else do we have? I like... Anna is fun because she's fast. Actually, I wonder if this was my set for her. I feel like I had something fast on her. And I think this is the only set I have with the cheetah thing, which I think makes you go fast. It is a cheetah, so I'd assume. Wow, does it get any more furry than the cat character wearing a fursuit? I know those are pajamas, but... Whoa, we have 3 people. It's always like the very end when you get the bots, so if you get the people early on, it's more likely that they're real people. 90 seconds left. Oh, you know what I should do after this? I should try one of the other game modes. I've basically like never played the other game modes. I know they're there, but I'm not sure if I've ever tried them. So I'd be interested to see like how they actually work. I know one's capture the flag. I'm not really sure what the other one is. But that's the other thing that's like Splatoon. They basically stole the idea of keeping game modes limited to times. So the game modes rotate out. Huh, I wonder if those are real people or not. They kind of have weird names. Not like Thom. But yeah, so the other game modes, they have like the basic game mode, which is like the Splatoon equivalent of Turf War. But all the other game modes rotate based on time. They pulled a lot of things from Splatoon and a lot of things from ARMS. I do appreciate that because those are like... I was really into those games. I really don't play them much anymore because I don't have Nintendo Online right now. But honestly, I might consider it if I end up being able to stream them. Potentially. I need to figure out if I can do a capture card system. Or like set up a capture card. I don't have a capture card. But I know you need one to be able to play games like that. I am almost dead. I feel like Anna doesn't feel as fast as I remembered. I wonder if they nerfed her. She's still relatively fast, though. I think I'm just really used to playing fast characters. Because then when I'm playing a slow character, it feels really bad. I like to be able to move around quickly. I am not hitting this guy. There we go. I mean, he only has one crystal. I probably shouldn't be fighting him. I'm about to die. I should deposit these. I feel like you die so quickly in this game. Like, unless you have healing discs, it's probably to incentivize healing discs. But like, I feel like you really don't need to be hit a lot before you die. Yeah, gotta go fast. I love fast games. That was... I'm not good at them, sadly. But I like games where you can go fast and you can move around 3D space. Those are like my go-to kind of games. Zenith is the other game I wanted. Zenith is the other game I wanted to play. Where basically you are speed. I feel like that's the one I might play next. But it's very... what is it? I believe it's like circa 2013? 2012? It's like an older indie game. Whoa. They crushed us. Oh, I did the worst on my team. Whoops. I can't say I'm good at this game. I just really like to fly around, to be quite honest. But yeah, I really want to play Zenith. It's basically like... I think it's styled after like an N64 or GameCube game. So it's kind of like low poly. But you basically you go really fast. Yeah, they ganged up on me. It was just me and my bots, and I did the worst. At least the bots tried to carry the team. But Zenith, you just go fast. All you do is you run around this desert and you try to pick up speed. And the end goal is to get to the moon. It's really funny. You start off with like a handful of basic missions, and then after you do like 3 missions, it's just like, okay, your next mission is to go to the moon. And then it just stops giving you missions. It really is. It's so funny. I love it. I've never actually gotten to the moon, because you need to do like fancy parkour. Goggles Lady. Who's Goggles Lady? Yeah, I think a couple things got Automod and I didn't notice. I just noticed I could put you through. But yeah, I've never gotten to the moon in Zenith. I've seen a video that says you can. I was not confident you really could. But apparently there's like stuff you need to do before you can actually get there. I definitely want to play that though. It's a very interesting game, and I have like a ton of nostalgia for it, even though it's... I feel like there's not too much to it besides just like running around, going fast. But there is like, I guess there's like a little bit of story. Sort of. There's like, you fight monsters. You have like a Pokemon app, basically, in like an open world running game. It's so weird. But it's got a lot of, aesthetic, maybe? Yeah, why is lady censored? I was trying to mess with the censoring early and I really don't know how to do it. But I guess that's just... Yeah, lady and waifu were the targets for the Automod. Don't call me a lady, guys. That's a little bit much. Yep, there it is. Yeah, lady and waifu. That's so weird. Like, I can maybe understand waifu, but lady is just, like, very weird. I can understand, like, Automod banning, like, Milady or something, but just lady? Why? Woni, I will permit you to say waifu. Waifu is allowed in this stream. In this stream, we love girls. If you couldn't tell by the rainbow in my really scuffed intro sequence, I'm very gay. I'm here for girls. And I'm dead. I really never got good at playing Coco. I feel like I played her a fair amount, because she was like the third character I pulled. But like, I never got used to how she controlled and what she did. And honestly, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing in general. There's so much to keep track of. Like, there's a lot to keep track of with the stream, but also just in the game. You have like 4 different moves, and a basic character skill, and a special move, and you have to worry about your elemental typing, and you have to worry about setting your capsules so that they match your kicker's affinities. It's very layered, which I appreciate, but I never got good at it. I believe this pulls people towards me. Yeah, and then I can just like attack them. It's definitely something. I also always forget to use my capsules. Like, I can use that and just go real fast. And like, I just forget to do it. Because there's so much to keep track of. And like, capsules are really good for getting yourself out of sticky situations. Because if someone's like attacking you and you're about to die, you can try to like turn things around by throwing a capsule at them. Because a lot of them a lot of the strong ones can be like one-hit KOs basically. Yes, waifu is just, it has really bad connotations. It's not appropriate to use waifu in a chat like this. Okay? Please stop. Wait, hold on. You said husbando before, right? I didn't see that in the Automod. True, I can't believe that simp is a thing. Am I allowed to say that? How does this work? Yeah, Hammer Girl's so cute. Coco. Yeah, I thought so. Why would Waifu get auto-modded but not Husbando? Yes, men are the minority here. All husbandos. There's so few of them that no one talks about them and they just don't need to be moderated over. Yeah, wait. It doesn't catch simp. Very interesting. I'd love to like see a list of everything it checks. Honestly, I feel like the only husbandos I ever hear about anymore are Genshin. And like half of the people are just like, oh, he's so pretty anyway. So it's like, it's also because they're kind of like waifu coded. If that makes sense. If that's a way you can say that and make it make sense. Okay, wait, so who's Goggles Girl? Is that... because there's a lot of people with goggles. Is that... Anna? Was that you, Regent, who said Goggles Girl? Because I'm assuming it's not Jay. That would be Goggles Guy. And then Tsubame has goggles. That's part of his history, apparently. That his goggles have been like... he's been inseparable from his goggles or something. That's like a voice line he says. I don't know why. They all have really cute voice lines. I normally have Hitagi as my main, so I love like logging in and just hearing her say things. Oh, okay, so Sid has lasers. Oh, he's an artist. He does laser engraving and sculpting. I remember that now. That's cool, actually. But honestly, the mask makes him look more like a graffiti artist than Jay, the actual graffiti artist. Like, I feel like just having a mask look like that, and like tech wear, I feel like that automatically gives you graffiti artist spray painting vibes. Oh yeah, I think I've seen a couple of those characters. I don't really keep up with Genshin. I did play it literally once. It's still on my phone. But like, people make a big enough deal that I see when characters come out. Okay, I want to try... what does this guy do? He's honestly relatively balanced. Lower attack, I guess. I want to see what he does, though. Because I've heard he's broken. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm in custom match. Let's try one of the other modes. Yeah, commissions. Getting art done for characters is expensive. I play like... what? I think I play like 3 gacha games maybe? But I've somehow, some way gotten away with never paying for anything. I just have incredible restraint somehow. But I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links for like, it's been like 4 years. Like, I played when it was announced. I had a friend who was like, hey, you should play this. And so I downloaded it, and I've been playing ever since. But I've never bought anything. And then I've been playing Azure Lane, I think, consistently for like a year. Relatively consistently. And I've never paid for anything in that either. Though that, I feel like I'm more pushed to want to pay. Because... What is it? Hold on, let me change the stream layout. Because they have like a new... I don't know what this is. I don't know how this game works. This game mode. Oh, okay. I think you fight these and then you jump through the hoop with things. I think you like collect balls. That's not a ball. What do you collect? You collect something, I think, and then you run through the hoop. There we go. I've got one. So that is how it works. Okay. Yeah, so I've been playing Azure Lane relatively consistently for like maybe a year. But that one really pushes you to buy more when you have a lot of characters. Because you can only unlock new character slots by paying. Or by using like the premium currency. Cool, got 5 points. But the premium currency is very hard to come by. So I'm always like stuck with not enough space for characters. For Duel Links, I've been playing Vendreads for a long time. I honestly haven't like picked up a deck really since Vendreads. Not like seriously. I've tried picking up some decks, but the only one I've been consistently playing for a while is Vendread. I play a variant with Clamido Sundew and Chimera Fleesia. I think that's how you say it. The Predeplant boss monster, that's the only boss monster that's available. It's basically just 2 dark monsters, which is nice because you can turn Sundew, Predeplant, Clamido Sundew. You basically normal summon it, and then you can turn it and a dark monster in your hand into Rafflesia. And it's got like a lot of good effects. That it's got one that like makes it really big, which is really helpful sometimes in Fedred because you can only really get to like 3,000 unless you're banishing a lot of stuff with Slayer. So like when you're up against really big things, it's really helpful to have Chimera Fleesia. And it also lets you just pop a monster that's level 7 or lower, which is a lot of them. So I'm really here for that variant of Vendreads. What else do I play? I play Gem Knights. I'm a really big fan of Gem Knights. I've been trying to get them to work for a long time. I never went in for Block Dragon, even though that was like the only viable... That was the only time Gem Knights were ever like somewhat viable. But I never went and pulled for Block Dragon. And I don't really regret it because I feel like that would have been really expensive. And I don't really pay for any of my decks, so I try to go for things that are more like you can play less of the ultra rares and super rares. Typically that, or I just save up a whole bunch and then only go in for like 1 box for a really long time. But right now I play like this really weird, it's a bad Gem Knight deck, where you've got 3 of the Gem Fusion, which you can pull out from the graveyard if you have a Gem Knight to banish in the graveyard. So basically, it's turbo the Gem Knight Fusion into the graveyard, and hope you have other Gem Knights in there to banish, so you can pull the Gem Knight Fusion out and do your fusion combos. And like, once you get Gem Knight Fusion, you're relatively set. And a lot of times you can do a lot of stuff. Whoa, we have... Most characters here have alt skins, which means they're not bots. You know, I think with these game modes, you're less likely to be up against bots. Because these are like the more serious competitive game modes. What was I saying though? Gem Knights. Basically, I use Cupid Volley. I really love Cupid Volley. I really like the Cupid sports girls. I'm super gay for them because they're really cute. And I really love the basketball one. I'm really into like basketball girl aesthetic. If you couldn't tell by like my track jacket, my cropped track jacket, I really like the red. Why can I not say track jacket? I really like the look of that. But like the sporty Cupid sports girls that no one ever plays because they're this random archetype that isn't an archetype that like handles level modulation. You get 1 new card a set, basically. So like in the actual OCG, they're putting out like 1 new one every couple of sets. I don't know if they stopped or if they've been doing it in the recent sets, because I haven't seen any. But I think we have 3 or 4 right now. No, I think we got a new one recently, but I forget what it is. Anyway, enough of me being gay about the Cupid sports girls. Volley basically lets you mill free from the top of your deck, and then it gains 3 levels. So it's level 1 and it goes up to level 4. Not that that matters. And what I do, in my terrible Gem Knight build, is I use Cupid Volley to mill free from the top of my deck, hope that I get rid of a Gem Knight Fusion, hope I send it to the graveyard and get to pull it to my hand, and then I can use Cupid Volley because she's a light attribute. I can use her as material for Seraphonite, since Seraphonite needs a light monster as material and Gem Knights don't have light monsters outside of... I don't think any. I'm not sure if Crystal Rose is light or earth. But we don't have Crystal Rose in Duel Links anyway. So basically, that's the deck. It's using Volley to turbo Gem Knight Fusion to the graveyard to get it back to hand, and then using Volley as material for Seraphonite to get an extra normal summon. It's nice when it goes off, but it doesn't go off frequently. I've been trying to get Gem Knights to work for a long time, though. Like, I've been playing them since they came out when we only had, like, 2 Gem Knight boss monsters. Ooh, an emote. Most of these people are real. I believe all 3 of these people are real people. Because they all have skins. But yeah, so I've been playing Gem Knights back since the days when all we had was combos with Thunder Dragon, like the OG Thunder Dragon, and what was it? It was the shell, whatever that archetype is, with like the pyro gun archetype. Volcanic Shell. You had Volcanic Shell and you had Thunder Dragon, and they basically like helped you get more copies to your hand. And you fused the Gem Knight with a Shell or a Thunder Dragon because the only boss monsters we had needed a Thunder monster or a Pyro monster. And like the deck was not good. It was really bad, and you didn't even have Gem Knight fusion. So you had to try to like go off with basic polymerization and what is it? I think I used like Fusion Recycling Factory something. It got way better in the expansion to Gem Knights when they added like everything else. Lapis, and I really like what you can do with Brilliant Diamond. Because you can like ditch a Gem Knight on the field to just play a fusion from your deck, which is really great. So I play with like a full extra deck of like every single thing is different because there's so many cool extra deck monsters. And there's so much you can do with Gem Knights if you're able to go off. But it's the trick is actually going off, and it's really hard to. I'm just really waiting for when they add they have like a fusion spell, I think, that lets you also add a Gem Knight from your deck to your hand. I forget what it's called, but I really hope they add it eventually, because I think that would help Gem Knights enough to be playable. Not like competitively, but just playable in general. I just want to be able to play Gem Knights. That was a really long tangent. I don't even know what else I play. Those are like the big decks I play. Or the ones I've spent like the most time with. I've had a fair amount of other decks, but I've focused mostly on those. I really wanted to get Speedroids to work recently. Because I have like a lot of Speedroid stuff, but they just aren't consistent enough right now with the few Speedroids that we have. So that deck doesn't work too well either. But I sometimes play that when I'm not playing Vendreads. Mostly when I just need to do synchro plays. Because Vendreads I only do one fusion summon in the deck and everything else is just rituals. I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom. So give me a second.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm back. Oh yeah, Woni, Psychics! Psychics were like my OG deck. I played Psychics when they like... the very first box that released... whoops. Forgot to turn my phone off. The very first box that released Psychics was when I started playing Psychics. And I've been like slowly upgrading them over time as we've gotten new Psychic support. And I dove like full in on that mini box that had Wheeler and Tracker. Because I really liked Wheeler and Tracker. And like they added those two cards so quick after they were released in the TCG. So I kind of like... I figured I really just needed to go in for those because they helped with synchro plays. And they'd be really good for a rank 3 deck when we eventually got Xyzes, so I just went for 3 copies of both of them. I do not regret that. But it took a while to actually get them all because I play exclusively free-to-play. So my deck right now is mostly just, it's got like 1 or 2 rank 3s, and then I just have level 6 synchros pretty much. The spell though that like lets you pop something just for a stack is nice. Like I feel like that gives them a lot of utility in destroying stuff. But I feel like that's their biggest draw, and they don't really do a ton outside of that. Yeah, they really don't hold up. They really didn't hold up to power creep too well. There's not like a lot they can do in like the metagame, I guess, right now. They are interesting though. There's a lot of like, there's just like a lot of psychic support in general, since they're like less of an archetype and more of just any psychic is part of psychics. So they have like a lot of different things you can do with them. And then a lot of like really niche cards that really do not help. Oh yeah, the special summoning, is that with like, what is it, like the trap hole stuff? Like when you can't have 2 monsters on the field? I always regret that when I get 2 big monsters on the field and then I see my opponent waiting. I know what's coming. It's rough. Yeah, that's why I've been playing a lot of Vendreads lately, because mostly because of the utility of Chimera Ecclesia. I feel like that does a lot of, like, it helps out a lot of things, but I feel like what's helped me most is actually Battlelord. Battlelord, that's it. Battlelord, you can banish a Vendread to basically say this card type won't be able to be activated. So you can basically banish a Vendread, say you can't activate traps, and then go into the battle phase not having to worry about traps. Or if they just have a face down monster, you can say, oh, can't activate monsters, and I feel like that's happened to me a fair amount of times where it's just like one set monster and I attack into it and it's like, I forget what it's called, like there's a number of them where if you like kill them they can destroy a monster on the field. And so having the ability to not have to worry about monster effects activating when you have to worry about stuff like that is pretty helpful. So I feel like having Battlelord is just really, it's really nice for not having to worry about some of the more common traps that are in the meta right now. What am I doing? I need to find some... I need to find those balls. I don't know where these balls spawn. I'm so used to where everything... There's one. I'm so used to where everything spawns in the normal game, which is just everywhere. These balls are like much more scarce. It's hard to really find them. I'm blue, which means I do not want to be here. Oh. Here we go. Yeah, there's definitely not like... There's not like too many combos you can do with psychics. Like, there's not like a lot you can get out of psychics. I feel like they need better boss monsters or something. But most of the deck I use, it basically only gets me like maybe one or two special summons. I like have a ton of... I basically just have a ton of things that can special summon when there's a level 3 on the field. So it's typically like normal summon a level 3, activate an effect to special summon a level 3, and then you go into a synchro or an exceed. But like, that's only one monster, and there's only so much you can do with one boss monster. Especially if none of them are like particularly amazing. I feel like a lot of times I end up going into... I want to say it's called Nightmare something? Some sort of nightmare. It's a synchro psychic. And it basically just gets real big. But you have to guess a card in your opponent's hand for it to get big. So like, it's generally monster. I always go for monster. But, oh, that was the wrong... Whoops, I don't even know what loop I'm supposed to be going in. But yeah, it's generally monster. So I hit it a fair amount of times. But all it does is get you to like... Yeah, that sounds right, Ultimate Nightmare something. It's like... What's that one called? Like Magical something. It's like literally the name. That one has something to do with spell counters, I think. But yeah, like sometimes I can get it up to like maybe 4,000. Which is sometimes nice. But it's just a big number. A lot of times it really doesn't help you if you have an opponent that can handle that with traps or effects. So in the current metagame, it's not super advantageous to just have that as your only monster on board. What other matches do we have in here? Okay. There's 1 hour and 15 minutes remaining for Rapid Ball. I don't know what the other ones are. Okay. Capture the Flag is the only other one. So they have the basic game, they have Capture the Flag, and they have Rapid Ball. It's very much like Splatoon. It's Turf Wars. It's whatever Capture the Flag is in Splatoon, I forget. And then the Clam one. I forget what that one's called too, besides Clam. But that's basically it. I'm surprised they never added other types of games. But I guess they probably assumed they were gonna shut down relatively quickly. But yeah, so what kind of decks do you guys play? Besides, I know you play Psychic Swony. Do you play anything else? I feel like this has very much turned into a Duel Links discussion. Maybe I should be playing Duel Links instead. I was planning on playing Duel Links though, because I do play that relatively often enough that I feel like it would be very easy to play and get good discussion in. I think I know more about Yu-Gi-Oh than I realized. Oh, with like the main game? I don't play too much of the TCG. I actually got back in towards the end of Pendulum Era, I think. I think I'm the opposite of you. I think I got in like right as links were happening. Like maybe a little bit before, because I was really interested in Pendulum. It just seemed super, super weird, and I was like, I need to learn that. So that's how I got back into the game. Because I like saw Yu-Gi-Oh stuff when I was a kid, but like I really couldn't have cards because I lived underwater, and like there's no good way to keep cards underwater. So that was kind of like, that was something that propelled me to get back into it, because now that I'm on the surface, I can actually have cards. And I really don't buy many, but it's just nice to have cards. The friend who got me into Duel Links, we went and bought cards together, because that was like what got me back into the game. And wow, I'm like stuck on the ground, running. What is this? I forget what I was saying. Oh, so I got back in during Pendulum Era was when the end of Pendulum Era. And I played Dynamists. I'm a huge fan of Dynamists. I was really rooting for Dynamists in the Create a Card competition. And I'm really sad they didn't win, because they got so far. Dynamists really, they just need an extra deck monster. That would be really cool. But yeah, I played Dynamists for a while on like online Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Like YGO Pro, Edo Pro, that kind of stuff. I was so close to getting 1 point this entire match. But so I played Dynamists for a really long time, and I only just recently tried out a new deck. I got into Adagnisters, which I feel like are pretty cool. They're very combo-y, and I'm really into the combos, which makes me question why I even played Dynamists in the first place, because they're a control deck. They really don't combo. But I think I just really, really liked Pendulum, and I wanted to play a Pendulum deck that wasn't just basic Yuya Pendulum. But I think I mostly play Adagnister right now. I don't really play a lot in general. Like sometimes I mess around in simulators, but not frequently. Yeah, the firewall ban. I love how they didn't even errata him until recently. I don't get that. Like, it was so obvious that they just needed to make it a hard once per turn. That would have fixed Firewall, and they could have just kept using him and just pretended like that was it. Because the anime effects are generally different, or like sometimes different too. They're not always the same as they are in the game. I'm not sure if you watch the anime or not. I'm a big fan of the anime. I probably watch the anime more than I play the game, actually. But I just don't see why they didn't errata it, like, after the first arc of Vrains. And just say, oh, it was always like that. Now we can use Firewall again. Because people can use Firewall. It was just so silly. Yeah, pendulums, they do a lot. I'm always surprised that, like, I feel like the cool thing about pendulum is that they can be... You can do multiple things with them from the hand. And I feel like a lot of the pendulum archetypes don't really make use of that. Like, even the Doremi Kodos, or Doremi chord, they really don't do a lot in the pendulum zone. All they do is kind of like protect your pendulum summons, which, sure, that's fine, but it really isn't, it doesn't do anything. I was expecting them to be more about scale modulation and like doing things with scale modulation, but they only have one way to modulate scales, I think, and that's it. It seems really silly. Like, they could be doing more with pendulum by not worrying about the pendulum summon and just thinking about the cards as spells and monsters. And they just don't. I don't really know why. I'd like to see a pendulum archetype that doesn't worry about pendulum summon and just focuses on cards that have multiple uses. Oh yeah, I love Shiose. Shiose was actually the streamer that made me think I could do this. Because I saw some of her videos and I was like, wow, that seems really fun and I could do that. And here we are. Oh my god! That's so cool. Yeah, Shiose is great. I really love her. I wish I could sit in for the 7 streams. I've only been to like 2, and they're so much fun. But I'm really busy, or not really busy. I'm always busy during the 5 o'clock Friday period. So I very rarely get to stop in. But every time that I'm free, then that's where I am. It's only happened like twice. I really love the Sevens anime though. I feel like it's very up there on the list of animes for me. Like, it's obviously not over, and I don't know where it's gonna end. Ooh, I don't know what this is. But I got a special thing. Let's see if I can do this. Oh my god! Oh, I think someone took the ball from me. Wait. Yeah, I don't have it. Weird. But yeah, Sevens I feel like is so good. It's constantly moving forward. They're always doing something, and there's really not, like, a status quo, if that makes sense. Like, they're always going somewhere and doing something and forwarding the plot, even though it's, like, super weird and surreal. Yeah, I appreciate that the girls have been way better than previous Yu-Gi-Ohs. Poor Aoi. I was so excited for Aoi. And then the very end of Reigns just, like, killed her. Like, she didn't get to do anything, and it was so sad. And they gave her, like, 3 different... what, like, styles? I guess, like, they gave her different, outfits, avatars. And they kept changing her deck around. And, like, I feel like it was just a push product, mostly. I am really sad that she didn't get, like, I feel like it would have been really cool if she had trick stars that were water attribute, that were like sirens. Because like sirens, they sing, so they could just be mermaid idols. And they would fit with the trick star theme and just be water. I feel like that would have been cool. I would have liked that. But they pushed Marine Cess. Marine Cess is okay. I liked how it was like trap focused almost, and that kind of like referenced... It referenced how Oi was like working with what's her name? Ghost Girl for a while, and she was like her mentor almost. So I liked how it kind of like referenced that in a way. But I feel like it could have been better, and she could have been done better. Yeah, no, she wasn't in a coma, but she just didn't get any wins by the end. Like, they had her have like one victory, I think. And it was like really, it was like a really silly victory. Like, it was like against a character that obviously wouldn't have won. And it was just to kind of like bolster her win rate, I guess. And then she like kept losing. And it was so bad. Yeah, Shinya Yoshida's not great at writing women. We just haven't had a good track record with women in general in Yu-Gi-Oh! I will never forgive Arc V and how sad it was with all of the girls. Like, they had 4 of these girls, and they did absolutely nothing. And the only one that, like, really did anything interesting was Yuzu. She was interesting at first because, like, she was pushing herself to learn fusion with Sora, and that was cool. But then after that, she just kind of went to Synchro Dimension to do nothing. And then she was just captured for forever. It was really, I don't know, the end of Arc V was so sad. Arc V is the only one I actually finished. I was super excited about Arc V, and that's why I actually, like, committed to watching it. So Arc V is actually the only one I've finished outside of Vrains, because I watched Vrains while it was airing. But Arc V, I went back and, like, watched all the episodes. And it was a struggle getting through the last episodes. Oh, they were bad. Oh yeah, was Matsumi she was the Gem Knight girl, right? They had a cool dynamic. Arc V was cool early on. They had like so many interesting dynamics, and like with the Synchro Fusion Xyz stuff, where they had people learning it and like pushing themselves to learn it. Like it's just really interesting where they could have gone with it, more than where they actually went with it. I honestly feel like what is it? I feel like Sevens is almost like a better Arc V though. Because Arc V, I've had this thought for a really long time, so if you'll indulge me. Basically, Arc V, it starts with Yugioh, who just like invents pendulum summoning. But he doesn't invent it for any good reason, it just falls into his lap. And he just becomes Pendulum Summon Incarnate. And like, okay, that doesn't really say anything about him, but sure. And then he gets really upset when people try to use pendulum summoning because he's like, oh, that's my thing. I'm the pendulum summoning dude, and you're stealing my thing. As if he deserves it, because he didn't even, like, put any effort into making it. And so, like, basically that. But then there's Sevens with Yugioh, who actually invents rush duels. And, like, they actually make more of an effort to show that he cares about making things. And that he cares that, like, this is like something he made. But he also cares about, like, making sure people get to use it. If someone else was rush dueling, he wouldn't be like, oh, why are you rush dueling? That's my thing and I'm the only one who's allowed to rush duel. He encourages other people to rush duel, and I feel like that's just... It's a much better dynamic than how Yugioh was in Arc V. And so I really just appreciate that Arc V kind of gave, like, a second chance for that kind of story to happen in a good way. Instead of, like, Yugioh being really needy kind of way. And being upset when people just have pendulum cards. Because even with maximum summoning, when Asana maximum summons, like, Yugioh's not... He was upset when Nail maximum summons, but it was more because he wanted to be able to do something in the space that maximum summoning provided in the code. And so that basically, like, took away an opportunity from him, which is kind of fair. But he doesn't get upset that, like, Asana has maximum. He's just really confused. I don't know, I just feel like the writing is significantly better. And I appreciate that. Yeah, Arc V really could have been fantastic. I honestly... It would have been interesting even if they didn't have, like, the dimensions. Like, just having the summoning types be all in the show was a big thing. And I feel like... What is it? I feel like even if they didn't focus on, like, the extra dimensional stuff, they could have made it interesting by just diversifying the cards you see and the kind of mechanics you see, and, like, having that tie into the story more. Yeah, GX is interesting. I really want to go back and watch all of GX, because GX is actually what got me into Yugioh. I've never played... Not played. I've never seen a single episode of Duel Monsters. Which feels so wrong as a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. But that's the one anime I've never actually seen. But GX is what got me into it. And I really love GX. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, but I never got past, like, season 2, because I watched it, like, on air. So I was never, like, completely caught up and watching, like, the new episodes and stuff. I just watched the reruns on TV. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I wonder if the manga came out after the anime. I've heard a fair amount about the manga and how it's, like, very different from... like the story. Like, a lot of the cards are different and the character dynamics are different. And even though it's the same characters, it's, like, a completely different situation. Yes, Yubel. I know everything about Yubel. Like, I know everything that happens in GX, I've just never actually seen to the end. But Yubel is, like, one of my favorite characters in GX. They're great. I really love the whole, like, the whole, spirit partner dynamic thing. I think that's cool. I feel like that's one of the things that I really like about Yugioh. Because, like, it happens often enough that it's, like, a reoccurring thing. And it's, like, a dynamic I really like. So I appreciate seeing it, like, often, I guess. Whoops, I'm reading the chat and running into a wall. Yeah, Season 0. I've seen a handful of episodes of Season 0, and they're something else. I'm not even sure how many episodes of Season 0 there are. I can't imagine there's a ton. But it's such an interesting... It's such an interesting time. It's really not even about the card game, it's just about games in general. I feel like there was only... Isn't there only like one episode that even talks about duel monsters in Zero? It's very different back then. I'm not sure if I can handle going back into DM. Just because, like, I cringe over first turn draws and, like, setting a monster, like, face-up defense position. Like, that just feels so wrong. I'm too used to the current rules. I feel like it might be fun as, like, going back and laughing at it. Because, like, it must be so dumb. I've heard it's very silly, the kind of plot things they get away with. I'm gonna die. Yep. But I do feel like Duel Monsters, thematically, it's probably, like, the best. Like, I haven't seen it, but everything I've seen, it seems like the way they intertwine, like, the ancient Egyptian themes with, like, the game and stuff, it feels better than, like, the newer shows where it's just like, oh, we've got a card game, it's real important. Yeah, I've heard that it's really bad early on. And, like, they just don't care about the rules. Turn 1, just normal summon Dark Magician. Easy. That's how you win. It's so silly. I feel like that's part of the reason why I really appreciate some of the newer shows, because they do put a fair amount of effort. Like Reigns particularly, I feel like put a fair amount of effort into like making the game and the show kind of tie together. They did a fair amount that was like up to par with competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And like they had a lot of the main character decks. They really wanted them to be viable, and they were viable. Salaman greats. But like it was cool that they like had the show kind of like show off what the metagame almost is. Not completely, but like you get more of a sense of it in Brains, and they keep it pretty tight to what the legit game is. And at one point they actually like, I remember one point where there was like a missing the timing thing. And they like actually talked about it, and I was like shocked they actually did that in the anime of all things. Not that that happens frequently, but I feel like Reigns was the one that pushed that kind of stuff the most. Whereas like Arc V prior was just like, it was a lot of ass pulls where like if, okay, We've been playing for 2.5 hours and we finally got this stage. That's something. I have played this one before. Yeah, like RGB, it was a whole ton of ass pulls where like if there was an issue and you needed to avoid destruction or something, you just action card. Like you just ran around and found a card out of nowhere. And I feel like that's so... It's not fun, it's silly. I don't appreciate it. Because it just feels like it came out of nowhere and they didn't work for it. And like that stuff happens a lot no matter what. Just because of the way the game has to be written. Or like the duels have to be scripted. I can't imagine scripting those duels. Like it must be an interesting job scripting a duel. I'd love to like try that one day. I feel like it'd be an interesting experience. But like they just had a lot of things where like it didn't feel like they tried to make it interesting. They just action card. And Brains had skills where Playmaker basically just got a new Link monster that did what he needed it to do. Which is definitely something. It's not necessarily the best. But it was limited to one time. And I feel like even just that helped it feel a little bit better. Even just marginally. I feel like it must be really hard to balance that stuff. To like make a duel interesting to watch, but also to get the outcome you want, and also hit like talking points. Because they do a lot of talking in duels, where like they discuss as they duel, and like different things sometimes represent what they're thinking. There must be a lot to keep track of for like actually writing something like that. I don't have any crystals. That's why I can't do anything. Probably, yeah. I feel like they probably have like plot points they need to hit. And then once they do that, they script the duels around the plot points. They probably don't have like a ton of characters that just duel for no reason. I feel like that's where like tournament arcs come in, because tournament arcs, that's when you like can get random people to duel. Like people that wouldn't duel against each other normally can actually duel in like a tournament arc. So I feel like otherwise it's mostly just like the plot propelling a lot of the duels forward. Wow, okay, it's been 2.5 hours. I feel like I should probably wrap up. It's been a while. But I hope everyone had a good time. This was a lot more... I was very anxious, to be completely honest. But I'm really happy with how everything went. Okay, let me... I also really love how all of my overlays turned out so nice. Graphic design really is my passion. Oh, Woni, you came in late, I think. You didn't see my scuffed, overlay. This is what I started with. The first impression. And I had these incredible shrimp. Oh yeah, I was wondering, I feel like I think I found your Twitch with, what is it? It was like a polar bear model? And I was like, wait, is this Wony? I'm not sure. But that makes sense. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how it's, I'm really excited, I guess, to rig and like actually get a nice looking model. I'm really happy with how my model's turning out so far. It feels like me, which I really appreciate. And I still have like, there's still some designing I want to do. I'm not completely happy with it. But I'm getting to the point where I'm pretty close. And everything's like in pieces. Yeah, I'm expecting live 2D to be rough. I've been waiting to download it because I want to do like the month free trial and see how far I can get with that. I'm gonna lower the music. But like I wanted to really focus on that. And I mean, we'll see, because I'm starting to do some graphic design work potentially. So I kind of also wanted to push myself to start streaming so that I'm started, because I really don't want to stop. I want to actually like make progress and not just be like, oh, this is too much work, I can't do it. I want to actually commit. And I feel like I really needed to do at least one stream to get a sense of how it all works and to really commit to it. And I feel committed now. I don't feel like a shrimp-imposter. It's rough being on Twitter and not like having done any streams, because you just feel like an imposter who says they're gonna stream and doesn't stream. And like I've been doing a lot to try to make progress and like move forward with my model and everything. But like it's not as much progress as like actually streaming and like learning all the streaming stuff, I feel like. Ah, face angles, got it. Yeah, I'm wondering how that's gonna be. I have a lot of things split up. I think I need to like go and kind of combine a couple things, because I have like line work and coloring and all separate. It's a huge file. But I'm really interested to see how it's gonna look when I'm moving. I really want my antenna to bounce. Once I see that, I might cry. Probably not, but we'll see. I'm really excited to start working with rigging. Honestly though, that's really smart. I saw when you said that, and I've been thinking of doing that. Not even for like the face, but just for my tail. Or like not, I don't know what to call it, like my hair thing. It's like a shrimp. And so it moves and it'll curl up and stuff. But like when I move my head to the side, I'm not sure how it's gonna look. And I'm thinking I might need to like 3D model it, because it's hard to really picture in 2D. And I'm thinking that 3D modeling it might be helpful in like actually figuring out what it's supposed to look like from different angles. We'll see though. I'm excited. It's gonna be, it'll be a ride. But I hope I can get something, at least before the trial is up. I might like try to just do like a more basic model and then maybe iterate on it later, just so I have something to work with. That's the goal. I just want to move around a little bit. Cool. Good to know. I really wanted to do it. I've been free a lot recently because of everything going on with COVID and everything. But I'm also looking for some graphic design work. because it's hard to live on the surface without a job. It really is. So much easier underwater. But I'm hoping that I can do it soon because I'm almost done like getting the actual model pieces ready. And I wanted to get those as ready as I could so that I could just go all in on rigging and just spend all my time on that. Thank you for coming though. It's been a while. I feel like it doesn't feel like 2.5 hours. But I really appreciate the support. Thank you for being here. And thank you everyone. I feel like a lot of people have probably left now. But if anyone else is out there, thank you for coming. And thank you for checking out some kickplay. That is still going on here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this scuffed backgrounds. It was fun. Okay, well thanks for coming everyone. Bye.